Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. Very nice crowd, very competitive crowd. You can stand in front of the camera if you like, it's late. Security, we have... He quickly moved then. We do have one other thing to give away today, which we always do at all of our Intel Extreme Masters. We're very proud of the fact that Intel give us one of these awesome processors, the i7 3970 Extreme Edition. These are like, I don't know, 50 million pounds or something. They're very expensive, but they're also very, very awesome. Sorry, Intel. They're not actually. They're very, very good value for money. And we give these away to our MVP. We call them the Sick Nerd Ballers. And you guys have been voting in your thousands all day long for the Sick Nerd Baller. And I'm really pleased to announce who it is because, unfortunately, not able to make the final, but he is massively popular in the community. He's massively popular here in Cologne. The Sick Nerd Baller for Cologne 2014 is Evil Genius's J-Dong. So, stay there, stay there. As you can hear, very popular, very, very popular indeed. J-Dong is the MVP, the Sick Nerd Baller of Cologne. He also gets the processor and he gets the very special limited edition Converse with his name and designs on as well. We've already seen one of those get them. He's in the final. It's Liquid HerO versus Polt, and it's coming up now. So let's go and find out from James what he thinks about the final. Thank you very much, J-Dong. Ladies and gentlemen, J-Dong. I think that's kind of fitting in a way that, you know, he put up such a terrific fight all week, and he really, I mean, he said himself yesterday he hasn't played very well this week, but he's reached the semi-final. He was so close. It was like, I was almost ready to go, yeah, he's through, but he's not quite there.
Yeah, a lot of people were hoping for J-Dong to be there, and it was almost that fairy tale ending of Polt and J-Dong. They didn't meet each other in the groups, and, you know, Polt didn't want him to meet there either. But in the end, just that little bit off, but we still get the next best thing.
I think we get a fantastic final regardless. Yeah. I mean, HerO's he's played fantastically well. I can't remember the last time when he ended up playing so many fan favourites that he wasn't the fan favourite in all of the matches. It's kind of odd for him. Yeah. But right now, I think it's going to be very even. Liquid HerO versus CM Storm Polt. Let's just show you the bracket, which is the final bracket of the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne, to confirm all of the results that we've had from today. It's been an absolutely monstrous day of StarCraft 2. Polt going through against Classic, Rain, J-Dong and HerO all making their way through the quarterfinals. The only one that was a clean sweep was actually HerO over the WCS Season 1 Career Champion Innovation. Polt then 3-2 against Rain and HerO 3-2 against J-Dong. And now we've got a best of 7, Polt versus HerO. Are we going all the way?
We certainly could do.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
There's so much to say about this matchup. There really is. Not only has it led to this point after some amazing, amazing games across the board from absolutely every single player that's been here.
It's not an exaggeration either, because there really have just been some terrific games all day and all week, actually.
It's been a pleasure to cast. But the thing is that Polt, if you look at how he's come to this point in the tournament, he's only had to play TVP. And against adversity, against everything people are saying, he's absolutely looked amazing against the best in the world.
He's the Knight of Terran. He loves TVP. He's the only Terran in the world that seems to love TVP, but he does, and he seems to be playing it really well. So,
and the interesting thing about it all is that going up against a player like HerO, when we watched HerO actually just manhandle Innovation, HerO is bringing the most aggressive brand of Protoss to this matchup in the tournament at the moment. A lot of them are trying to macro up. We do see a lot of blink all-ins from some of the other Protoss as well, but HerO has shown tendencies of wild aggression here. So Polt's going to play this probably a little more defensively. His 3 barracks openings is a great one to go up against HerO here. So this could go down to the wire.
But likewise, they have a bit of history, they have a bit of form. DreamHack and Polt took HerO out. So he's going to be feeling a little bit confident here. HerO's going to be a little bit more like, ooh, got to be careful as well. So this could work out quite interestingly.
Yeah, it certainly could. It could go either way. If I had to really peg it.
I was going to ask you that next.
Get right to it. I think Polt's got it. he is showing some of the best TVP we've seen in a long, long, long time, especially considering the current state of affairs for Terrans at the moment. So, Polt, he's a monster.
Okay, thank you very much, Kalaris. Time now for our grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne 2014, the final of the season before the World Championship begins in 4 weeks' time. In fact, exactly 4 weeks from now, we'll be fighting it out in the grand final for $100,000, winner takes all. For now, though, it's time to crown the Cologne champion for 2004. Is it Liquid HerO or CM Storm Polt? We're about to find out with Apollo and Todd.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and welcome to the grand finals of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. Make sure to go onto Twitter and tell everybody about it. We're about to send out a tweet right now. Make sure to include IEM, retweet, tell everyone about it, because this is going to be epic. We have Polt going up against Liquid HerO after 2 amazing semi-finals, and I'm sure this has to be just as good. Or not quite, I don't know, I hope it's just as good, but I know it's going to be good nonetheless.
Every time there is a match in these tournaments, ever since the first day, I feel like it's going to be hard to top this one off, and every time it's better. It gets better and better. Did you know, actually, brace yourself,
Yes,
Polt only played against Protosses this tournament.
Yeah, I know.
Only
He actually
against
mentioned it.
Protosses.
And do you know what's on top of that, Todd? He only practiced 4 Protoss because that was his weakest matchup
Really?
coming into this tournament.
Only against Protoss.
Only against Protoss.
No need in other matchups. He knew he was going to meet only Protoss.
Yep. He had the vision.
The power of Protoss.
He is the Terran Oracle. And this will be a best of 7 to determine the champion of the Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. Second place, $4,000 banked. First place, $10,000. And of course, this is a WCS event, which means points will be given out to all the top 16, with first place getting 750. And with the best of 7 in the 7 map pool order, you know that there are no vetoes. So straight to map selection here.
All right, we've talked a little bit about Polt. He only played versus Protosses so far in this tournament. He's beat 4 of them: Stardust, Mana, Classic, and Rain. But HerO, we should talk a little bit about him. He 4-0'd 4GG in the group stage.
Yeah.
He 3-0'd Innovation.
Yeah.
What's more impressive here?
I know, Polt, who's gone through Classic and Rain from SK Telecom, and then you got HerO, who's gone undefeated with 0 maps dropped. This is a crazy finals. A Protoss versus Terran. And here is the map order coming in. Heavy Rain, Frost, Habitation Station. Is this starting out aggressively? Is it fast-paced? Is it going to be slower? What do the maps really tell us?
Yeah, definitely. This is actually a matchup of 2 players who love to be aggressive. Polt has done very well against the Blink play of his opponents, but the guy who's been playing the best with Blink so far is HerO. So this is going to be, again, a clash of styles, and there's going to be fireworks. There is no way these guys are going to sit back and take it easy. They're going to throw stuff at each other from very early on, and whoever manages the situation better is going to come out on top. It's going to be that simple.
There are the 7 maps in order from start to finish. The shake of the hands as we are about to begin the grand finals here. Very excited for this one. Polt qualifying through the North American qualifier. He was just a qualifier into this tournament. Had a great start in Group C, going through Stardust and Mana 2-0 apiece. Found himself in the quarterfinals, 3-2 versus Classic and 3-2 versus Rain. A solid and stellar performance, and he upped his performance levels each game, which was very impressive.
Yeah, and those are some very, very tough opponents. You might be telling yourself, well, you know, HerO, he won 3-0, 2-0, 2-0, but Classic and Rain, I did not actually expect Polt was going to be able to beat both of them. He played better and more here than what a lot of people were expecting. I mean, I know he's really good, but Classic and Rain, they were the top 2 in the Korean qualifier, which is supposed to be the toughest qualifier. Polt, he plays in the American region, which I don't want to say anything bad about, but
it was obviously weaker. It was obviously weaker. Polt going through that, of course, and has found himself here. The 25-year-old, the personal sponsorship for CM Storm, if you didn't know, is one of 2 players to have an esports visa. A visa for him to play StarCraft 2, live in America. It's a 5-year visa. He shall come and pass as he pleases. One of two players. Him and Violet is the other player, if you did not know. And HerO, of course, the Team Liquid star alongside Tasia. And these two players met not too long ago. DreamHack Winter. Polt won 2-1 in that series. But here they meet in a best of 7. Much, much different than a best of 3 or best of 5.
And I guess you could say he's living the American dream, man.
Yeah, he is.
His visa and all that, being nicknamed Captain America.
He's nicknamed Captain America. American flags always kind of coincide with Polt playing. And we'll see if he's able to do it for America today. Going up against HerO, who has 4 major championships. He's a sick nerd baller. He's an MVP winner, just like Jaedong won himself. With his strong performances in the Intel Extreme Masters, had been voted that before. And he is here to see if he can pick up his first Intel Extreme Masters championship. He's finished in a semi-final in Shanghai, which is where he was awarded his sick nerd baller status. And he's won 2 DreamHacks, an NESL and a Premier League in America. Can he put an Intel Extreme Masters title to his name? And Polt, likewise, looking to do the very same, really. He's won 2 Premier Leagues, he's won an MLG, and he's won an ASUS. He's won a GSL Super Tournament.
Let's put it this way, there isn't much he hasn't won.
That's true. Polt has conquered in different regions and different continents, whether it be Korea in his early stages. In 2011, was a consistent Code S regular, was playing season in, season out in Code S with the best Koreans. He won the Super Tournament, which was $100,000 first place in 2011. And then, of course, he was, stayed consistent in Code S, reached the semi-final. He then even decided, you know what? Korea's cool and everything, but I want to conquer the world. I want to do everything. I want to go here and here and here. And he did travel and he went everywhere. He won tournaments in Europe. He's won tournaments in America. And now in 2014, these both players sitting live in Germany, Cologne, on that player stage, about to embrace on a best of 7 journey. One player will be a champion. One player will be remembered as second place here. And I'm ready, Todd. Are you?
Yes.
They have to be ready. Because here we go. First game of a potential 7. And down in the bottom side of Heavy Rain, representing CM Storm, it's Polt. And up to the top of Heavy Rain is the blue Protoss player playing for Team Liquid. It's HerO.
It's interesting that things start out on Heavy Rain here. Since there was no vetoes, basically they can start on what they think could be their best maps. So I'm expecting this was probably HerO's choice here, but Polt has shown some very good things against Blink again. So HerO, what does he choose to open with here? If he goes with something like the Blink play, he could find out very early on how this goes versus the style of Polt that we've seen before. Assuming Polt goes for his usual go-to reactor command center into 2 additional barracks, which every time are very, very well placed.
Yeah, Polt's been very good these last few days with being able to deal with these Blink plays, which have been so popular from Protoss players. And of course, before we do really get deep into this series, a big thank you to Funker StarCraft, as he is about to end his 4 days in a row observing from a darkened box somewhere that nobody knows. Actually, it's honestly truthful. Nobody knows where he is right now. He's just somewhere hidden away in a room. In a dark, cold, and damp room, observing 12 hours a day.
It's like in the Matrix, man. There is this secret room. You need a special key. Where's the keymaster when you need it?
The thing is, since Adebisi officially retired and hung up his keyboard, Funker is sitting there and he's got 7 monitors observing the games all at once, and he's the ultimate observer. No one really knows what he looks like. He changes his identity. One day he's got long hair, the next it's shaven. We don't really know what he looks like. But of course, thank you very much to Funker for observing. And now let's begin the games. It is a double gas opening from HerO versus the Reaper from Polt.
Yeah, Polt looking very standard here. And with the double gas opener, there's going to be a lot of things that HerO can go into early on in this game. He's going to have to make a choice. He probably already has going into this game. But we do not see any probe being sent out on the map right now. And no cheeky third pylon. You see, it's all going to be right next to actually his mineral line, which is walled off very nicely already.
So with HerO's style against innovation, he played very aggressive. Twilight Council, of course, used in pretty much every single game. You think he's going to approach that same style against Polt, who is proven by playing Classic and Rain to have conquered that style?
I think if he does, it's going to be very difficult for him to win because the history of Polt in his tournaments, most of his wins have been basically adaptation from game to game. There was some times where he struggled against something, and then the next game you just saw him play so much better against it. I guess it was even true for Rain, but in the end, Polt barely got the better end of that match. So that Reaper here actually going to get chased down. And HerO, I wonder if he was forced into getting a Zealot, Stalker, and Mothership Core here, or if it was always his plan. It looks like he wants to go... Oh, he's sending a probe out? No, he's hesitating, man.
Yeah, he's kind of pushing into the gateway, by the way, getting a second Stalker here, in case that Reaper does wrap around to make sure he is safe, and even a third Stalker.
Yes.
And this is really interesting because some games through this weekend, Polt hasn't got a bunker, and he has actually been open to these sort of attacks. But in this game, he's got a bunker, and this really isn't going to do that much, and it is quite an investment from HerO.
Yeah, he's actually going for a quick factory, which...
Is he going to run past the bunker potentially here?
Yeah, he could do that, but we've seen Terrence handle that very well with some nice SCV pulls. He's just about pulling enough to make sure that those Marines cannot get killed freely, and yeah, HerO goes for it. It's all gonna come down to micro. HerO with always some fantastic Stalker micro. And he pulls just enough SCVs, I think, to be able to hold this.
A lot of SCVs here, and a couple of Marines do poke out the exact time they're targeted down the Mothership Core, but Time Warp used, and a couple of Marines from the bunker down south, the Reaper even coming in. And we've got to see the damage at the end of this, because the Zealot's gone, the Stalker's gone, or will, in a second, hold that thought, gone.
Yeah.
And the Mothership Core, ooh, does clean up those Marines, but he didn't really lose a lot. He didn't lose any SCVs.
Actually, it's cool and nice to kill a bunch of Marines, but not a single SCV was killed. But Polt lost quite some mining time here. The thing is, he's on 2 orbital commands from very early on, so he's going to be in a good position economically, and we do have the blink behind these 4 heroes. So now, it's going to be about how many gateways does he have. Is it just 2? Is it 3? Could be even 4. He could go up to 5 gateways, knowing he has an expansion on the way.
And this has not been spotted here. And HerO's going to test Polt. He says, yeah, congratulations, you beat some pretty good players before. You stopped this blink, but can you beat my blink? Yeah. And we'll see, because HerO's already shown that he's got fantastic control. He doesn't really make mistakes very often here. But the Widow Mines are on the way. They could prove a vital unit in this game, considering there is no detection at all.
Oh, that Reaper is going to prevent his scout. That Stalker, sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a big deal here. Again, Polt is kind of trying to get ready for everything. You see, he's made the engineering bay, which if he knew what he's up against, you don't really need right now. He's slowing down the turret. Again, this is a case of lack of information. He scans the natural. He only sees a Stalker and a bunch of probes. No gases in his natural. Since he's getting ready for Dark Templars quite well with the turret, I think he's going to be focusing on Blink Stalkers, and that's exactly what he's doing. And he's doing something so smart that other Terrans haven't done in this situation. He's got a Widow Mine, very, very well placed on the left-hand side here.
Yeah, if units blink up there.
Oh, he might go for some tanks too, look. He's made the tech lab on the factory.
Well, he definitely could build tanks, could switch it up to the starport. Interesting to see what he's going to do there. As we just wait for his decision to be made, but we do have a Widow Mine in a Medivac, and it's going to escape all vision from HerO.
Oh,
but
that's
the
Medivac.
Stalker's on the left-hand side.
Well, how does HerO know? HerO's anticipating this.
Yeah, yeah, he's expecting this. There's no other reason for him to be here. He's expecting
he
this.
doesn't even have detection back at home.
And he sees the Medivac. Wow.
Sorry, Widow Mine. Not today. What game sense, man?
That was pretty impressive.
He had to have spotted something.
Yeah.
The Medivac must have flown maybe too close to that panel probe. This was insane here. HerO with some nice lead here, but now Blink has been revealed, and Polt is going to be completely ready for this. He didn't opt to go for any tanks. The add-on Tech Lab was for a barracks, actually. Yeah, Double Forge goes down behind this.
Yeah, Double Forge. So, I mean, HerO's got a great economy. He's actually fully saturated across 2 bases here. He's got 40, 51 probes there. And, you know, Polt's got 3, 4 bunkers down. He's got a turret. He's trying to prepare for everything because he never really knew what was coming, unfortunately. But he is okay. I mean, he's going to, you know, take a bit of damage on his factory. He's not going to die. But he's got his Medivac support to pop out. The game lives past these early stages. HerO just blink forward there, finds 4 Marines inside the bunker, and is going to bring that bunker down, but That's really the extent. That's the only extent of this damage.
This is the hero we all know and love. Always looking to do some damage and not losing anything. Known for his micro. Look, the units lost right now 1,000 to about 300. And he's going for double force plus a Robo Bay behind this. This is going to be basically a lot of upgrades, Colossus production, and from there he should be looking to take a third. Already have Blink. He's going to have great defending capability. And this is a build that we've seen Yonghua use quite often before, actually defeating Flash with this. And Deathrow actually copied this versus Apocalypse 2 in WCS America and found some success with it.
And HerO's actually found time to squeeze in the Warp Prism here. He's going to rely a lot on his active units around the map to kind of fight off the initial wave coming from Polt. And he's decided to find time to squeeze out a Warp Prism. So if he's able to use the units effectively to defend against the push incoming and buy himself time with the Mothership Core, by the time Polt moves out very shortly here, the Warp Prism should be coming over to Polt's base. And this is a very nice counter-attack setup and could be really good for HerO if he's able to, as mentioned, deflect this next movement out, which we should be coming or seeing in the next couple of moments here. Look at that army supply. Polt really climbing up fast off these 5 barracks.
Yeah, but he's really being kept hostage right now, and he has no idea about the Colossus because he cannot spare a scan to be able to see it.
He's actually adding on a Ghost Academy here straight away.
Oh my god, he must have misread this completely and trying to take a little bit of a gamble or cutting a corner here and not having any information. He might be able to find out about this Colossus with this double Medivac drop. By the way, almost the entire map is covered with pylons or units or observers. HerO sees a lot right now.
Well, what's going to happen with this Warp Prism and Medivacs? They're about to bump into each other.
Yeah, HerO knew Polt was dying to come out. And
Polt sees the Warp Prism on the left-hand side. I'm not sure if he's actually actively looking, though. Or he turns around, so yeah, he saw it. And he can actually kill this Warp Prism.
Oh, HerO's not looking. He's looking at his Stalkers right now.
Oh, Warp Prism's gone. Oh, that died pretty fast there. 3 Zealots in there immediately, and a bit of a mistake there from HerO, who is kind of running through the middle of the map.
Yeah, this is weird. He's hallucinated some Templars, which he's sent across the map.
That's a little bit weird here, and Polt just kind of stims for them, and he's going to go kill them. And it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. And then moves forward here from this position. But it does play to the image that he's going to start building Ghosts, I suppose. And that's funny because HerO doesn't even know about the Ghost Academy. Little does he know that he's pushing Polt down this one avenue, which isn't very good against Colossus here.
Yeah, but this is what we've seen Polt be so good at. Splitting his army in half, attacking on 2 sides at once, and really forcing his opponent to spread out and defend in a very difficult position. So this could do a lot here. The army on the left-hand side was just spotted, but how do you really judge how much you need to basically dispatch to defend against this? HerO's going to send a big chunk of his army for this army on the left-hand side. So this one on the top right-hand side.
That's a lot of units here. He could force the cancel on this Nexus here. A great move from Polt, and HerO's found himself a little bit out of position here. Cancel has been made, and Polt finds himself with a little bit of an edge there. But still, only just now adding on Vikings. He's got 1 out and 2 to be made.
Hey Polt, what's your hobby? I sniped Nexus when I'm bored.
Yeah.
Or Nexi, because he sniped a lot of them. Actually, this is the way he beat Rain previously.
And he's still got those units on the left-hand side here too, remember, so definitely...
Oh, no cancel!
Ooh, nice snipe there, again. And Ghost coming into the mix now. Polt's got a lot of units here. +1 armor's about to complete. He hasn't had it on the extra engineering brain armory, very surprisingly, from this point. He could be looking for some form of 2-base attack, but whatever the case here, 2-2, not too far away from finishing.
He goes for it.
Yeah, he does EMP and gets quite a few units here. And there's only a couple of force fields available. 3 Colossus, those very deadly.
2-2 will actually finish very, very soon here.
Yeah.
I don't know how to think about this. Attacking 2 Colossus without Vikings. Actually, Polt was doing okay up until now.
Yeah, and he's losing a lot, actually. He's losing a lot. Ooh, he gets 1 Colossus, but there is another one. He's going to have to evacuate.
Oh, Blinks is on cooldown. Should be able to escape with this. That last Medivac doesn't have anything in it anyway.
But at least he brought down 1 of the Colossus, and I have a feeling you might try to bring the boys here. And that is in reference to bringing the SEVs.
And you know, this is interesting. Polt really tried to anticipate what HerO will do with the Templars, go for Ghost and goes for a 2-base timing, which is really something he never did before. And now he has such a late third. Remember, versus Rain, he was going for 8 minutes third. Now this is double the time, 16 minutes, and his third just finished.
I didn't realize that he actually forgot the factory. Not really forgot it, but forgot to rebuild it after losing it here. So if he wants to play this game out for a long time, his upgrades are going to be very far behind, with HerO already completed 2-2.
These 3 Medivacs on the left could be quite deadly, but there's not going to be much left at home for Polt to defend against this upcoming attack of HerO, who thinks he has enough Colossus to go for it.
Yeah, Polt doesn't really know exactly that there's no third base here. It's just a bunch of units at 2-2, and we have Blink and Zealot charge completed here. He's going to move over, see the lack of third base and say, oh, I should have been home to defend against this. He was obviously looking for another Nexus snipe.
HerO is quite committed to this. He's only on 2 bases. He's going to bring back one of his Colossus back at home. Might get sniped in a second. And I wouldn't be surprised if Polt evacuates his 3rd base and tries to hold on 2 bases. We're going to have some kind of a base trade here, possibly.
Yeah, this is a really weird game here for map number 1 of this Grand Finals. There's Ghosts, there's Vikings, but not enough to combat this head-on yet. Nowhere near enough. Polt evacuates with a couple of his units, but HerO's got maybe too many units here for Polt to actually deal with.
This is looking very scary for Polt right now. HerO pulling quite far ahead on supply. He's going to go for the big attack. There is not that many Vikings. SCVs are being pulled.
Polt has a lot of units on the other side of the map, and they're not aiding in this fight. And here it commences, and the EMPs are great, but are the Colossus not just going to live forever here and roast and toast every single unit?
Yeah, that's what they did for the time being. And as soon as this front line here for HerO dies, he pulls back. He's going to get a snipe on that orbital command. In the meantime, though, can he hold at home? He doesn't have all that much. Just a few zealots. He's chrono boosting out all of his gateways, and he's adding on Archons to his main army to go for a second wave.
This is crazy. This is absolutely berserk, because Polt pushes forward to the main base here. The Temple Archives is going to get sniped. The robotics facility's gone as well.
Oh, the Colossus is out of position against the main army.
Oh, he's not really targeting though. Sorka's blinked forward, and they're going to bring down the Vikings in. It looks like HerO's going to win the fight inside Polt's base, and Polt
We could have a draw. He has no Nexus. Actually, where do you hide on this map? I guess bottom left or bottom right hand side. If Polt lives and escape with some buildings, I think we have a draw here.
Yeah, we definitely could too. But he's not really doing that right now.
But
well, he's not really doing that right now.
Yeah, I don't think he realized.
Okay, now there it is. There it is. He's going to the bottom right.
There it is.
So we're actually going to have a draw.
I wanted 7 games. We might get 8.
Yay! This has been a long day, and it's going to go longer. As you can see, Polt cannot win, but he cannot be destroyed either.
Yeah, there is nothing that can be cancelled for HerO to give him 400 minerals so that he could remake a Nexus.
Yeah, this is going to be a draw.
And I think Polt's just going to do the same thing that he did versus Rain. He's going to try to eliminate it, which in this case, not going to be possible because there's just too much units for HerO.
Wow. And I mean, they've both lost their command centers and Nexus now, so they're both going to be revealed. And they're both going to know that this is the scenario that they've been set up with. Polt's now
starts
revealed.
on Vikings, but he's revealed, and HerO's going to see that.
Yeah, and HerO knows. Look at that. Actually, I caught HerO there shaking his head. And he knows that this is almost a 1 game, and Polt's forced to draw.
Yeah.
Polt could have been down 0-1 here.
If he had saved his Nexus back at home, if he had just a little bit of... Maybe if he had pulled probes, actually, with that one Colossus that he had, he would have been able to barely hold. Yeah. In which case, if he had a base now, he wins 100%. There is no way he can lose.
Yeah. And that must be a really difficult thing to process right now for HerO, as this cannot be won for him. And I mean, actually, he mentioned that just now after the game against Jaedong, is that his inner ears, the headphones, the inner headphones he's wearing is actually hurting his ears a lot after the long days of playing. And I think we caught him there just adjusting it a little bit.
Well, what a great way to start the finals, man.
Yeah, started with a draw.
I was wondering how these two were matched. Apparently, they are so evenly matched that they cannot even win when they play each other.
No. It's a friendly game. It's a draw. Nobody wins. Oh, look at in the other way. Everybody's a winner. They both won. It's 1 each. And Polt asked if he's got 400 minerals, just to say, do you have enough money to rebuild? And he says no. So it's.
I like how he asks in English so everybody can understand too.
Yep, and they're just going to say, right, it's a draw, guys. There's not much we can do.
I did not expect this. There was a lot of things I was expecting, but not this.
There we go. It has just been said and done. It's a draw. Game 1 will be over.
Oh, and Polt looks pretty happy with this, whereas HerO is quite frustrated.
Yeah, that was, I think, safe to say. If HerO... It should have been HerO's victory. Let's just say it that way. But it wasn't. It was kept away from him. And the series is now 0-0. Going into map number 2.
And it's funny to say again that Polt's hobby, he's proved to be pretty good at it, sniping both Nexi here.
And HerO shaking a little bit
Wow,
there.
he looks actually really upset right now.
Yeah, I can't even start to imagine the amount of adrenaline just pumping through his body after the game against Jaedong, that series.
Yeah.
He sat down, was shaking like a leaf. He's been consuming a lot of energy drinks, which probably isn't helping him very much right now.
When losing this kind of game, your mistakes are actually going to eat you up. And HerO's been known to get nervous during tournaments. Here, if he lets this loss, or actually not this loss, if he lets this draw, which he might actually be considering like a loss, just because he thought he had won.
Yeah.
If he lets it affect himself too much, he could be playing a lot worse. So he's gonna have to be careful. He's gonna have to stay focused and somehow forget about what just happened, because this was a huge. The attack looked very convincing. The last 2 Archons that he added, I was actually a little bit surprised, because I saw Templars being warped in the production time. Then I saw him morphing Archons, and I'm like, where are they? I guess he's trying to defend back at home. I clicked on them. They were with his main army. He thought he needed them to tank, but I do think he probably had enough to attack forward, finish the army that was in the base of Polt. And if he had those 2 Archons with what he was defending with back at home, he might have been able to save one of his bases, in which case he wins here.
Wow. If we hadn't have seen it already, we've seen 3 zeros, we've seen epic 5 games, we've seen an hour-long game, we've seen everything at this Intel Extreme Masters, and now we've seen a draw. We've seen a draw.
What's next?
What's next?
All right, you tell me.
Surrender. I don't know. It's just like, I just give you
That's
the finals.
my thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else is next. What else haven't we seen? Maybe battle cruisers versus carriers.
Tempest, at least.
Okay. Battle cruisers and widow mines versus Tempest and carriers. I don't know. That's the thing we haven't seen yet.
QXE would love to do that analysis.
He would. He'd say, look at these battle cruisers, look at how many hit points they have. And whatever the case, we're going to be loading back into this map in just a couple of seconds' time and be starting again in case of a draw. We just replay the first map once again, and we'll be going over it. But I can't help but feel that HerO is like, I hate this after that. But there's not too much he can complain about after that series with Jadon, where Jadon was devastated, and HerO is the man in the grand finals here. Wow, what a final. What a start to the final here.
Not quite the start that either of these
predicted
players had hoped for. And Polt, as I said, he looked pretty happy.
Of course.
Here, after agreeing for the draw, he was actually smiling. Smiling.
But a difficult start for Polt there. If you just look at how the game begun, with the blink play that was initiated there from HerO, and Polt was finding it very difficult to find, to scout, to know. He was preparing for DTs, preparing for the blink play, preparing for a normal game. It wasn't easy.
This is not only about the end result, which here was a draw. This is also about the way the game went. And HerO, this is probably a game he feels he played so well in. He applied a ton of pressure. He killed a lot. As always, he was killing a lot, not losing much. He was in a comfortable position. He went for the double forge. He had this composition that he wanted to go for the kill. He killed his opponents, but he kind of was forced into a draw at the end, which has to be so frustrating after the way he played this. But he made mistakes. He made too many mistakes, and this is why he was his next eye got sniped. That's all there is to it.
Forced into a draw. Forced into a draw. We are just waiting on the invites now. They are starting to happen for both of these players. As you can see, HerO's taking off his headset here just so he can, I don't know, heal up instantly after playing for a long day. I think the tournament started today at 12. It's now 11:30, so there's been 11.5 hours of gaming for these players so far today.
And Polt was in the first match, actually.
Polt was in the very first match, so...
It's okay, he has that American dream stamina, man.
He does. He does. He's willing to go the distance. He's willing
He's
to
Captain
sleep.
America. Have you ever seen one of the movies? This guy doesn't get tired.
No. He's a true hero. And we need to see that heroism come out from Polt here, because this is not going to be easy. HerO's shown his form. He's undefeated against Terran players so far. Not sure what the admin's about to say.
Just trying to find out if...
Are you okay if we restart this game? He's like, all right, good. I'm going to invite you in.
Polt is like, nah.
I think they were... the admin was just asking there for 100% clarification that there was a draw. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was. And we will be getting into this in a couple of seconds' time. So sorry for the delays here, guys. We will try our best to get this up and running immediately. This could be a long one. Do you think that these players playing for 12 hours, can that really impact their strategies and their thought process, decision making, and for playing for so long today?
Yeah, hopefully not. What happens in this case sometimes is that you're just so frustrated about the last game that you basically cannot forget about it. You keep replaying it in your head, especially for HerO here, who He thought he was winning, and then he made a few mistakes too many that basically forced the draw. If he cannot get over this, and if he keeps on thinking about those mistakes, it's going to be really bad. He's going to have a lot less focus than he would otherwise have, and it's going to be tough. So definitely needs to stay calm here. This is very important. You know, StarCraft is often compared to poker in a way that basically you have a lot of incomplete informations, and you need to basically try and adapt to what you think your opponent might have at times, which there is indeed with some similarity with poker with that, but also with the emotional, which I guess applies to a lot of sports too. In any sports or any competitive thing that you do, if you start getting emotional, you might be a lot worse at basically practicing it.
Well, let's hope he can keep his composure here, as we do now, as before, prepare ourselves for this next one. HerO just speaking to the admin in game, just mentioning that he does have a bit of pain in the in-ears. As you can see, he's holding his left ear here. It is starting to affect him. Well, we talk about HerO and his emotional status and trying to keep composed. This guy on screen, nothing really phases him. You know, he's been close to elimination against, a couple of the best Protoss players in the world. Yet nothing really phases him. You know, a scratch on the ear, but that's nothing. You know, tickle that ear, give it a rub, and he's fine to go again. He's really ready for this, and he hardly ever looks like he's been thrown off at all. And I think that's one of Polt's strengths, really, as a player.
He's only good at showing emotions once the game ends, and that's such a strength to have. If you can stay calm during the game, you're definitely going to be playing your best. And HerO actually asking for some different headphones right now.
Yeah, so we will see that on screen, I suppose, in a minute. That HerO has requested just something else to help him hear the game rather than having the in-ears. So we'll see what that is in a couple of seconds' time.
He's still looking pretty annoyed, and I'm pretty sure it's not only about the in-ears.
It's a bit of both, I think. It's a bit of both with the game number one and how that shaped up to then over the ear problem.
You know, I've been in this situation myself, right? You remember? At Home Story Cup versus Happy.
Oh, yeah.
I know it comes back, huh?
Yeah, when you say that name, I'm like, I remember all the series you played against Happy. I remember that one DreamHack game.
All the throws.
God damn. Yeah, that was a long one. But
it's really, really difficult to stay calm in this situation and get over this. But I'm sure HerO's going to be able to do that, and we should be seeing a good game again out of him in a good finals.
You think he opens up the same? Like the same Blink play, or does he try something else this time around?
If he does, I would be very, very surprised. And it will be like a case of, I think he thinks I'm not going to do it again, which, again, as much as you see it sometimes, it's still very, very rare.
Well, we'll have to see what both players go for. But I think, Polt playing the more reactionary player, he's probably just going to open up the same every single game this tournament. With the Reaper expand, is there any way that there's a potential build here that HerO can use to gain an advantage against it, considering he uses it every single time?
I'm glad you asked, because HerO has been known to have some very, very good proxies versus Terrans, and there is a few proxies that you can go for that can be very good against this. Actually, didn't he use one already in this tournament? Somebody used a proxy versus a Terran. I think it was HerO once.
Really? Against 4GG?
Against 4GG, yes.
Yes, it was actually. On Heavy Rain too, I think it was. Was it not on the same map?
Wasn't it on Yonsu in the top left-hand corner of the main of 4G?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You're correct.
So on Heavy Rain, you have a few possibilities for that. If HerO thinks that Polt does not scout for it, which I'm actually not sure if he does, could go for something like that. And then again, it's a best of 7. You know, if you try this one game, you basically tell yourself in advance, it's either going to work or it's not. You don't put too much pressure onto it. You don't wait until you're 3 games down to try it, unless maybe you're Jaedong and you pick Protoss.
Yeah. Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, I think he would, wouldn't he? But we have to think that, HerO did open up with a cannon rush against Jaedong earlier on, so it's definitely not out of the world for him here to do so. But there is the different headset, as you can see. It's time blocking headset for him. Over that one there, which is the one he was using previously. So a different headset. So we can continue on with this as HerO is now ready with his brand new black soundproof headset. As if you didn't know, these players, there is commentary going out into the room where they're in, even though it's not very loud as the players are in the opposite area to where the audience is. Sometimes, of course, sound can leak over and information could be told, but with these headsets on, it is completely prevented. so they cannot hear what we say, and it doesn't matter how handsome we call Polt, he will never know until he watches the VOD back.
Doesn't Polt look a little bit like the captain or like the pilot of a plane right now? In his chair?
Who is it that had the microphone down? I think it was Leenock or someone had the microphone down. And I was like, wow. And it did look like that at first. I couldn't believe that.
A chopper pilot, man.
Chopper pilot.
Get to that chopper.
HerO carries that... can I call it a rag? I'm not too sure. Cloth, maybe, is a better way to describe it.
You'll get away with it.
Yeah, I think it's... Well, I call it a rag, but maybe a cloth, purple cloth there. Case of sweat. Dry those hands through the tension of this. But it is time to start the finals again. Because the first game was a draw. So this is the second, but the first game, it is exactly the same map as previous with the same players as previous. And up here, representing CM Storm, it's Polt.
Oh.
The dramatic zoom. And then down here, it is, of course, Team Liquid's HerO.
You're so smart. You actually called this. I did not call this. You asked if he could do something very, very different to try and counter the build that his opponent's been doing every single time. And that's what he's doing here. This is actually a quite far away proxy.
Booyah.
Interesting.
It is far away, and it's very rarely going to be scouted here by Polt.
I wonder which proxy it is. Is it gate 10 and then like one or two zealots? He waits until the Reaper's gone and he goes for it?
Is it not for...
Gate 11.
Okay, gate 11.
I don't think he's going to be Stalkers. He should go home right after this. But he's staying. I do not know this proxy. This is HerO at his best. Pulling builds that nobody understands, but he makes work very often.
Okay, well, let's find out which way this is going to shape up. Of course, he's building probes back at home here. And that probe is going to leave for now. And we have the 12 barracks and the 12 gas coming in here from Polt. So just as we expected, a simulator has been made. And he will be looking to get up towards his higher tech, towards the cybernetics core in this game.
I think he should be getting like 2 zealots, possibly just 1, and then very, very quick stalkers behind it because of his gas timing. And this is different than what he did versus 4GG, I think, but it makes sense because he's proxied actually quite far away. I'm almost tempted to even say this is not a proxy, this is a gateway in the middle of the map. And this is definitely not going to be scouted. He knows the scouting path of that SCV. And if this had been behind the middle line of the expansion or around there, it could have been spotted. And he didn't want to risk that. Actually, I wonder if the Reaper cuts through there and sees this while going to the other side of the map.
Imagine
I guess
that.
The barrack placement, if you look at the line, I guess not.
Yeah, it's not going to be spotted here. If it was, the bunker comes down and this is almost over. So this is really relying on it not being spotted, of course.
Yeah.
2 zealots about to be there, and he's going to time it with the Reaper leaving, so he should be going in immediately. And a very nice spot and smart play. There is the reactor there, and that is not going to allow the barracks to produce units here.
Polt's coming back. He saw that there was nothing in the main of HerO with his SCV. He knows something's up. He's going to come back. The command center is cancelled.
Yeah, and the bunker starts here, and he's pulling his SCVs to get towards the SCV building the bunker. He started again here. The Reaper's home already. The Reaper's back already. That was immediately really fast
using
there.
too many SCVs.
And the barracks is almost done. But these 2 zealots, and there's a stalker out now. And there's another one being chrono boosted.
7 SCVs have been killed, and these zealots are... This one is not stopping.
And that bunker won't complete here. And this could be over pretty fast here. He needs that bunker to be completed.
Yeah.
There's 2 Marines about to poke out. And they're going to jump into this immediately. But there's going to be another stalker soon. The bunker's not too far away from finishing. Even a probe comes in.
Yeah, she wants a piece of the action.
Yeah.
10 SCVs against 19 probed right now.
So what do you do as the follow-up from this? He's got the bunker completed. He can wall this in.
Yeah,
do you
he's going to counter-attack right away with his Reaper because there's going to be nothing to defend except the mothership core. But HerO's supply blocked. So he's going to have to chrono boost that right away. And HerO's in a good position. He starts the Nexus. If
20
those stalkers,
probes to 12 SCVs.
Yeah, he's not getting a 3rd stalker. Otherwise, he could have done a run by and get it to the main. Actually, those SCVs, they're very low on hit points. I think if HerO does something like bring back one of his stalkers home and then goes across the map with his mothership core, he finishes them.
But is he going to do that?
I don't think so. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't done it yet. What is he really expecting to do with those 2 stalkers? Maybe, I guess delay that expansion if Polt was to come down, but it's not going to come down. Polt's better than
And
that.
HerO throws down 2 extra gateways here, and it has been spotted immediately by this Reaper.
Yeah.
And Polt, that's good information gathering from him, and he has thrown down a factory behind this, so he's going to actually jump up towards Widow Mines here quite soon. And
I'm not sure if Polt, or if HerO rather, realizes how far ahead he is right now in the income. Because 21 probes against 16 SCVs, Polt has done a decent job of catching back up, but there was a 10 worker difference at some point. And when your opponent has this little economy, you can already kind of take a decision on what build you might try to throw at him to finish him. In this case, HerO not going to do anything very early on.
no, not very early on. He's thrown down the robotics facility here as well. And it's just set up really nicely across these double bases. He's got a bit of a worker lead here. He's going to be able to chrono boost into the Nexus here, I'd imagine, and just further that lead. And just set himself up in an advantageous position. Come into the mid game, almost similar to how he was in the previous game, just obviously a completely different route to get there. He's actually brought a sentry up here.
Yeah, he's going for lockdown. Sadly for him, there's going to be a medivac made very, very soon. And if Polt is able to dodge those units and building, by the way, he knows exactly where the gateway is. And he gets a Widowmine in his opponent's base, he's going to be able to do some damage. But we have a Stalker in position there.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a very, very tricky situation again in this matchup where Polt, he has shown before brilliance in this kind of situation.
Yeah, and that Widowmine's damage there. He'd have to really go repair that if he's going to use it within the medivac here. Mothership Core giving range to these Stalkers up to the high ground, and they will start to do a bit of damage towards the supply depot. May even actually kill it here. But there is no repair, and he's going to go for it, so he is going to kill that supply depot. Nice.
Oh, wow.
A little bit of something.
Almost steps in the area of that Widowmine. Not going to, though. Yeah. HerO's whopped in a few extra Stalkers back at home. He's on 3 gateways. He knows, I think by now, he should be able to realize that he's up against a Terran that went for a factory, or very soon at least he's going to be, since he's going to be dropped with 1 Widowmine. If he goes for a big Stalker attack, there's not going to be siege tanks, there's not going to be steam pack, and this could be quite deadly. I wouldn't be surprised if HerO applies even more pressure in a minute here, after having defended that 1 drop.
Yeah, and his economy is so good compared to Polt's now. His income's starting to really, really ramp up, and Polt needs to get down to this natural soon, but there we do have the Widowmine. Can it put a halt to the economy of HerO? And he moves 1 probe in, and what a bro that guy was. Sacrifices himself for the others. There is an observer there, and this will get cleaned up, but only 1 probe killed. Twilight Council coming in here for HerO.
Oh, the Widowmine is going to detonate on that Mothership Core. Actually, a few Marines were dropped right outside this, on the right-hand side. Polt. Oh, he's going to get... Is he going to get it? Does he see it? He doesn't have steam pack right now.
No, he doesn't, but he's going to come around these Stalkers, but they squeeze past. The sentry is going to get picked off, but Stalkers will run away here. And dealing a bit of damage while they do run back, picking off a Marine there, and there's Hallucinated Phoenix inside the base of Polt, so he sees exactly what's there. But we have Blink coming in here for HerO. He's got the Forge. No matter what time the clock is, always get Blink. Here is HerO decides to go for it.
Yeah, 2 additional gateways. This, as much as he can put on a lot of pressure with this, he can also transition quite easily. His economy is ridiculous. 46 probes across 2 bases. He has ideal saturation. And as much as Polt has done a good job of recovering, he's still quite far behind right now in this game.
But he is taking a bit of a risk here. He's deciding to go double engineering base to really push his upgrades going. Instead of deciding to go for the 3rd command center, increase his economy, to decide to go to the 5th barracks to increase his army, he's going to go double engineering base here. There is only 1 forge down for HerO, who is now switching over to Colossus production with a robotics bay. And Reaper versus Stalker.
I really like the observer placement by HerO here. Actually quite different than what we've seen from Rain before. Just right on the outskirts of his base, at the very edge of the map, making sure no medivac sneaks in there. Because right now, the only way Polt can come back is through some great medivac drops. It's not going to be by playing passive. If Polt plays passive, HerO's going to run him over completely. So Polt is definitely going to be looking to apply some pressure very, very soon, like we've seen him do every so often before.
It's a lot of gateways, though. 2 more have been added on to the total of 5 already, so 7.
Yeah, the Reaper just died.
Ooh, and he scans and sees the War Prison, by the way, inside the main base. Saw that leave out.
Yeah, usually what you do when that happens is you go to the other way and hope that your opponent's not smart enough to anticipate that. Which is going to be pretty tricky. And HerO still going that way, to the right-hand side.
Yeah, we'll see if that War Prism can get damage done. It has been spotted. Definitely been spotted here. And a Viking has begun.
No armor he has started, by the way. Polt's definitely going to need that to start his 2-2 ASAP.
Yeah.
Whereas HerO's still on just one Forge, which I think is okay, because he's getting charged. He could just go into Templars quite quickly behind this as soon as he starts securing a third base. Right now the priority is defending, and he's in a great position to do so.
Yeah, he's not really going to take any damage here to this, and the Warp Prism's about to unload.
And there's nothing ready, actually.
Yeah, there's nothing there. There was a Viking made, and the Viking is gone? Not sure where that's gone. It was being made. Maybe it got cancelled. I'm not sure.
Yeah, two Vikings now on the way as those two Medivacs finish. HerO's waiting. He wants to know that his opponent's outside his base. Actually, it's funny. This Warp Prism is just right outside the vision. Barely.
1-1 completed. Armory now coming into play so he can further his upgrades. Templar Archives has been thrown down by HerO as well on the other side. So even though this game started very fast and high-paced, it slowed right down here.
Yeah.
As we are going to see HerO slowly play defensively. Have a look on this left-hand side with that hallucination to see the army. Well, he does try to take his third base.
Oh, I love the positioning on the Stalkers. As much as they could defend and help in the main, now they do blink down. They're really going to help with this. A lot more Zealots being warped in, and that third base has been delayed by this pressure, but Polt's going to lose quite a few units.
But
here.
with HerO out in the middle of the map, Polt's decided to drop inside the main base here.
Oh, this was a magnet, man.
Yeah, it was a magnet. Yeah, that's right. And he goes right into the main base, and he's going to be able to pick off quite a few probes here. The Cybercore's exposed, there are other structures exposed, but with Colossus coming to defend, oh, he's going for the robotics facility.
Oh, he's going to get it?
Yeah, he gets it there and picks up with one load.
Yes.
Not two, but he does get that there.
And by magnet here, I meant distraction, of course. As Polt, he had planned for this from the get-go. And he pulls it off quite well.
I mean, he's thrown down a starport here. Where's the third command center?
Oh, those Stalkers here, they're actually very, very close to those Medivacs. They're going to get the one that's empty, possibly. The other one needs to get away. He's dropping the Marines.
Yeah, he's dropping it. Actually takes a fight there. Picks off two Stalkers. That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Polt tries to go for a timing here.
Yeah,
But
he hasn't
Storm is on the way, though.
Yeah,
He doesn't realize that. He hasn't spotted that.
Being 16 minutes here, I haven't started the command center. He actually doesn't. He's spending his money very, very well. This definitely means he wants to go for some kind of timing, I think. If he went for a third base right now, his build wouldn't make much sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just feeling scared to do so, just because he sees the army of his opponent. But he knows that HerO's going to a third base.
Yeah.
And that War Prism on the top right-hand side is going to play a big role. Unless all of the SCVs are pulled, in which case there's not going to be much to kill in the main. The thing is, with Storm finishing, HerO is going to be in a great position to win that second first game, I guess you could call it.
The second first game, yeah, that's ideally right, because he's increasing his Viking count to fight against two Colossus, and that's not the focus of HerO's army anymore. HerO moves forward, though, actually loses a few Stalkers immediately, blinks forward, and you know, even though Polt's the one looking to be aggressive, it's HerO that pushes this back, and the Warp Prism inside the main base here too brings a lot of forces of Polt there to the main. And this is funny, because it definitely looks like Polt's the one that wants to be aggressive, yet it's HerO the one dictating this game.
HerO was like, I should definitely be waiting right now because I'm getting Storm and he doesn't have a third. Then he's like, screw it, I'm just going to attack and kill him. And he chased him down. Did not chase too far, which was definitely good here. I think if he had chased, maybe he would have been held. Would still probably be ahead since he has Storm. But look, he's going to wait for his 2-2, and the 2-2 of Polt finishes earlier. HerO should definitely not fight before he completes that. Okay, I guess at least the armor, because the +2 attack is still quite far away. And Polt scans, he sees a few Templars, he has to know he's in so much trouble. Is he still going to try to attack?
Yeah, well, he hasn't brought the boys. They're still back home mining. And on this is no way Polt can try to break through this, despite his upgrades and his Viking count. He can't break this.
Usually,
be a madman to try it.
When you can break your opponent's defense, you go for a big drop, and that's exactly what Polt's going to do. But look at in the main of HerO. There is Templars, there is Zealots ready. There is no in-control cannon. So that's going to be...
there are 3 high Templar and Zealots. Feedback's available. But at the same time, the Colossus do die pretty fast there. And the drop is actually going to commence on the third base. And there's Storms, there's Colossus, there's Zealots. There's a lot of crap here for HerO, basically. Yeah. And he's defending this really well. And Polt gets pushed back with this attack. And there's still so many Storms left.
Whoa,
there's 4 high Templar.
They're really going to help with this, but there might just be too much.
Yeah, this is too much here. GG's called. Polt was not able to crack the defense of HerO. And you see him shaking there with that can. A long game #1 there, with the drawers beginning this series.
HerO has been known to get nervous, man. In this situation, do you think it crossed his mind I'm in such a good position. What if we draw again?
Yeah. God damn it.
Probably when he was chasing, he was like, oh no, not again.
So why can't I kill you? But
he ran
he's
right back
still
home.
shaking there, really shaking. And definitely feeling nervous in this finals. He mentioned how nervous and shaky he was against Jaedong, but he's going up against Polt now. He's won the first game. He's won the first game here. And this is a really long finals though. Best of 7, first player to get to 4. We will play throughout all of the maps in the map pool. And we'll be going over to a map that hasn't really been that popular this weekend. It's Team's Stronghold.
Yeah, actually we saw some quite nice games on this map. And HerO style and his multitask, definitely not going to mind this map all that much. I know that as I say that, if he gets crushed, I'm going to get flagged, but HerO is one of those guys that's, as much as he likes to be aggressive and it's going to be hard on this map, in the late game, when you have to handle units everywhere, handle drops, we saw Polt being very effective with those on this map.
Yeah.
HerO's definitely going to be able to handle the situation well. And his crisis management is going to be great, I feel, on this map, most likely as well.
I was corrected from my RAG description.
There's always someone who's like, nah,
it's a handkerchief. I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, I guess he can blow his nose with it after playing and wiping his hands, I suppose. Yeah, it can be used for that. Someone else told me it was also could be used for a bandana, and I guess he could wrap it around his head too.
After sneezing in it?
Yeah.
Actually, he only uses it for his hands.
Yeah.
To keep them warm, maybe a little bit.
Bit of warm, sweat too.
Yeah.
Definitely playing at this this kind of final. And it is a big final here. It's, you know, despite the long days here and the jokes we make, this is the grand finals of the Intel Extreme Masters in Cologne. This is the last stop of Season 8 here for StarCraft 2 before we go to the World Championship in just 4 weeks' time, where 16 players will fight out for $100,000. I still cannot believe that. It's going to be one heck of a tournament to watch. These players will be there, and there's a lot of good players that have already qualified for the World Finals. There's currently Oz and Revival, who are the top 2 from Shanghai, Naniwa and Life from New York, CJ HerO and San from Singapore, MC by himself from Sao Paulo, because HerO did, of course, win that back-to-back, CJ HerO, that is. Polt and this HerO qualified. And then through qualifiers, we have Stardust, Jack G, and Rogue. And then SOS and Taja through invites, the BlizzCon champion and the DreamHack Winter champion. The stacked tournament of 2014, the World Championship of the Intel Extreme Masters, coming your way.
Not a bad lineup. I'm actually really glad Rogue made it in Korean qualifier because he played so well, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play and possibly own some nerds over there. He's been very impressive these days.
Very impressive in Korea, and it will be a tournament to watch. So do set your calendars for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship, and that will be taking place on the 14th to 16th of March. So remember that. You'll be able to see these players face off again, most likely, or highly likely if they continue this kind of form, but it will be difficult there. But we are going to be jumping in to map number 2, and we are waiting for something here. Not too sure what exactly it is. Seems like there could be a couple of Battle.net issues. Do you think Polt will be affected after this long first game, the draw, and then this one, or you think he's just going to be completely fine?
Polt usually does not get too worried. Actually, right now he's looking a little bit flustered, but in his play didn't really show that he was nervous or anything. Actually, HerO neither. If you think about it, HerO, he looks like he's shaking a lot after the game. Was not shaking much during the game because his units were everywhere. He was the one always applying pressure. And I kind of understand how basically he talks about how he gets nervous and he thinks he plays worse from there.
Yeah.
Also sometimes because he's a guy that always attacks. So if he's having a bad moment or a bad day, he's really going to show because he's going to lose a lot of his units and it's going to go bad for him.
Yeah. As you can see, we do have a couple of problems jumping into the next game, guys. We'll try and get that sorted out for you as fast as possible, so please stay tuned here for the Intel Extreme Masters Grand Finals. We'll be back in a couple of moments.